Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Talks with Jazz. I'm here to do a review for Put a Ring on It, Season 2, Episode 4. So I had to watch it twice because I'm just like, these couples are a lot. They have me feeling like I'm Dr. Nicole. To start off, we'll start off with Eric and Jessica. So in this episode, Eric did not have another date because he didn't like his last date enough to go back out with her. So he didn't do anything. But Jessica, she went on a second date with Clarence. Clarence, he seemed cool, but I'm not surprised that she didn't like him like that. Like, he seemed more laid back. He's probably just into his fitness stuff, where I definitely got kind of a little bit of a party girl vibe from Jessica. But what I picked up on with Jessica and Eric, it's a lot of things I actually picked up on. I have the most to say probably about her, Eric and Jessica, excuse me, and then Smoke and Alexia. But back to Eric and Jessica, I feel like, for one, I don't think Eric is as jealous of these dates as he's acting like he is. I feel like he's kind of acting how he's acting to appease Jessica, but I feel like he can really care less. To me, maybe it's just me, he seems a little checked out. As for Jessica, I feel like, she thinks it's cute when he gets jealous. I think for her, she's taking the jealousy as, oh, it means he cares. But it's like, girl, you don't want that type of energy. Like, even though I don't feel like Eric is genuinely jealous, someone being a little possessive over you, controlling, or showing a lot of jealousy, that's not love. Like, and I think a lot of us just out in society, we're having important conversations now, but there's a lot of toxic ways that we've, things that we've witnessed and ways that we may have had in the past, and we don't realize that they're toxic. So yes, wanting your partner to be jealous, is kind of a little bit toxic in my opinion. Also, it seems like with Jessica seems to obviously want Eric. She feels like she wants a return on her investment, and which for her, that would be the ring. And it seems like, Eric said that in the last episode, in episode 3, Eric stated that he needs more mental stimulation. I feel like with Jessica to me is a very beautiful woman. But it seems like she does want to be seen as more than just a beautiful face and body. But it seems like it doesn't appear that she's in a safe space with Eric to where she can open up and probably give him what he needs. I feel like if she fully trusted him and she felt like she was being understood, he would probably be able to bring that, other side out of her, that deeper side out of her. That's what I'm kind of picking up, because she seems like she's really sweet, and she seems like she's genuinely trying, and it feels like if she's getting what she wants, she will be willing to try even harder. As for Eric, to me, I get the vibe from him that even though he has a relationship, he lives with Jessica, to me, he's one of those people that he's in a relationship, but he still feels very lonely. The more he talks and the more that we just, as we kind of progress in this series, I feel like, one, obviously, his football career, we don't really know what happened with it, but that's something that he probably took hard, because a lot of times with these athletes, they've been playing this sport their entire lives. So if he's 36 years old now, I'm not sure when he left the league or what his situation is, but he's probably been playing football for the majority of his life. That's all he knows. And a lot of times they don't know how to navigate outside of that, the sports world, or playing that sport, or being a football player, or whatever type of athlete they are. And I kind of get that vibe from Eric. And it feels like when he was the lowest, he did not have the support that he wanted from Jessica. He probably questioned, is she really here for me, as in just forget football? Like, what if I never played football? Would we even be here? And, again, I'm, adding a lot more than what they gave us, but I would not be surprised if for Eric, especially being in a world where women are naturally going to come up to you, throw themselves at you and stuff like that, he probably feels like, how do I know she really wants me? Look at the grounds that we even got together on. And that's the only thing about situationships. Like, when you begin dating people and there's no clear intentions from the very beginning, a lot of people, they're able to make it through and still get to a relationship and they can still be happy. But also, on the other hand, a lot of times people end up getting to a space that we see Eric and Jessica in, where it's like you're in this situationship. It's been X amount of time. For in their case, it's been 4 years. And, one person wants to move to the next level. The other person's like, I became accustomed to this. Like this became a part of my routine, but I never saw the situation progressing beyond what we currently have. And that's where I feel like Eric is. So this is tough. I don't know. As I said in the last episode, I feel like they need to break up. I don't think this is a relationship that's going to be healthy for either one of them. Eric, excuse me. I keep calling him Erica. Eric, he needs more. He needs someone that he can fully trust. He needs someone that can pour into him. And, it doesn't seem like, unfortunately, he feels like he can get that from Jessica. When he said that she's useless, that was hard to hear. But at the same time, part of me kind of understands him a little bit, because it's almost like this. Now, it was wrong for him to say it to her in that way. It came off disrespectful. But at the same time, you ever been like in a situation where you just needed a shoulder to cry on, or you needed someone to really pour into you, and you tell whoever, it could be a parent, it could be a friend, whoever, and they just give you nothing. That to me is one of the worst feelings ever. And what I'm getting from Eric is that when he was at his lowest, or if he just needs something, he pretty much feels like he's in this world all alone. And nothing right now is really satisfying him, including his current relationship, which is why he's not even interested in, getting to marriage. If at the end of this series, because, with these shows, they present all this drama, and at the end, the couples work out anyway. But if they do make it to the end, I would not be surprised if he proposes, but they end up being engaged for another 4 years. So I don't know. We'll have to see when it comes to that. But Eric and Jessica, I'm just not seeing it. Jessica, she probably needs a little bit of time to herself. And so she could just really kind of think about what it is that she really wants. And, everyone is different. She has a right to, meet a man that sees her for beyond her beauty and that's willing to turn up with her. And she probably could find someone like that. Eric is not the last stop on the bus. So she can find someone else, but they just need to let it go, because I'm starting to feel like Eric does not genuinely like Jessica. Moving along, let's go to LaRonda and Sean. LaRonda went on a second date with Sir James. To me, it looked like they were having a good time. I didn't see anything wrong with their date. I just, watching what I watched, it looked like they were communicating well. He even shared with her that, his last relationship, unfortunately, there was infidelity. So I'm just like, okay, it seems like it's going well. But I was shocked that at the very end, she said she doesn't want another date with him. I don't feel like that was very genuine. I feel like I don't know what happened when the cameras were off and when they were at home, but that's just not adding up. She claimed that she was having to lead the conversation and like he wasn't really interested. I mean, just as someone that dates, a lot of times when you're getting to know people, you have to, 1 or 2 dates isn't enough. There are occasions where, especially if you're a spiritual person, your discernment's like, this is not it. So if that was her situation, then okay, I get it. But a lot of times your discernment may just, not that it's fallen flat, but you kind of like, I'm not really sure. And it may take you multiple dates to really kind of come to a conclusion on whether or not you should move forward with that person. With that being said, I feel like with Sir James, from what I saw, again, I don't know if there's some more edits there, but that, the producers did not, include in this episode, but it looked like they were having a good time. I also saw a digital exclusive on the OWN channel that they cut out, and in this clip, it had Jessica, LaRonda, and Alexia going out to eat, and, LaRonda brought up her first date. I can't remember the guy's name, but the one that was singing. And she was like, she declined going on a second date with him, even though she wanted to, because of how Sean was when she got home. So I just feel like LaRonda is she's not allowing herself to experience this situation how it's supposed to be experienced. She's too busy concerned about Sean. And she even said on her date with Sir James that sometimes it gets exhausting. So it's kind of like, LaRonda, if you're feeling exhausted already now, and you guys have these problems, like, what makes you think you're not going to be even more exhausted after you guys get married? Like, I'm just not understanding her logic and what she's holding on to. But that, I just don't understand. So, I think it was unfortunate that she did not choose a third date with Sir James or a second date with the first guy. But I guess she's just trying to make it to the end, because I definitely feel like Sean will propose. He will find that money to propose and put something on her finger so he can lock her down and make sure no one else is taking his meal ticket. As for Sean and Brittany, they definitely seem to have a connection. But to me, Sean seems like the type of guy to where, he probably doesn't have a hard time connecting with women because he's very in touch with his emotional side. He chose to continue to go on a date with her, which is strange because on the first date he went on with the first girl, he claimed that she was too perfect and he said no. But then now I feel like the only reason why he's going on a second date with Brittany, I feel like, is to somewhat kind of be like, yeah, just to kind of, I guess, kind of man up a little bit, be like, yeah, I'm going on a second date. I like someone too. But it's just like, Sean, what are you doing? But I wish them the best. And then on the clip that I saw for next week, I see Brittany wiping his face. So it's just like, Sean is attracted to women that are nurturers. That's what I'm seeing from him. LaRonda is a nurturer. And I'm not saying that other women aren't nurturers, but more so give off that motherly vibe to their man, that parental vibe to their man. So I wish that couple the best. I do think they're going to end up getting engaged at the end. And all I can say is I wish him the best. Hopefully this show brings him some celebrity and some attention so that his career takes off and that he can be more financially stable, so he feels a little bit more confident. And hopefully he also gets the therapy he wants so he can heal from his childhood, because I totally understand it, But at the same time, you're responsible for getting your individual therapy to make sure that you're not bringing whatever trauma that you've experienced into that relationship. And last but not least, because I literally have like 3 pages of notes on Alexia and Smoke. I just don't understand. Like, Alexia, even in the clip that I watched on the OWN network where she was out to dinner with LaRonda and Jessica, she was like, oh no girl, like she kind of like, she's the girl like, oh no girl, I wouldn't put up with that. Meanwhile, she's in the worst situation of them all. You've been with this man for 14 years. I feel like with them, this is pretty much nothing more than in a situationship that never ended. Neither one of you ever said, hey, I'm moving on, and boom, here we are. First off, we have Smoke going on a 3rd date with Kai. Smoke likes Kai. Me personally, I question if it was not for this show setting up Kai with Smoke, would Kai be interested in Smoke? I feel like the answer is no, but who knows? Also, too, I don't like the fact that Smoke tells Kai exactly what's going on with him and Alexia and what her reactions are when he gets home from their dates and stuff like that. I feel like that's extremely disrespectful. And for me, it would be like a breach of code. Like, I would feel like you're not being loyal to me. It's nothing wrong mentioning, like, a general, like, we're trying to figure out if we should get married or where we are and what we're trying to do. But to hard down, be like, I don't know why she's acting like this, and this is and this, and just give her blow by blow details of what you guys have going on. I just don't think that's cool at all. But his date with Kai looks fun. Seems like he enjoys everything with her. He also stated on this date, he was just like, he was excited to be around Kai because of her feminine energy. And I'm not even shocked by that statement because, Alexia to me gives me very tomboy vibe, very much tomboy vibes, like the way she walks, even the way she talks. Like, to me, I can tell she played basketball, and there's nothing wrong with playing basketball, but she just has this type of, her posture, everything about her is not the most feminine in the world. I don't know if it's because she feels low because of her relationship and where they are, and she just feels kind of beaten down, or if I don't know if she just truly is a tomboy at heart, is not even realizing her posture and how she comes off very tomboyish and very homegirlish. But I'm not even surprised by that comment that he made, because she doesn't come off like, as a girly girl. So that's pretty much what he's saying. Also, after the date now, we end up seeing Smoke go into the bedroom. Alexia's in the bathroom, and they start trying to have a conversation. And that was a very disturbing conversation. A lot of things came out of that. First of all, I didn't even know Smoke had children. So my question is, when did he have these children? I highly doubt these children. If y'all been together for 14 years, since you were 20, I'm assuming you guys are not too far apart age-wise. He didn't have these kids when he was 15, at least not all 2 or how many ever he has. So when did he have these children? Are you telling me that in the midst of this 14 years you guys have been in this situationship, that's pretty much what it is, he's had children on you and you're still there? So there was that. Another red flag was him having a condo that he just escapes to. That to me is insane. Like, if you're married, you hear the phrase about not going to sleep mad and, not sleeping in the same bed. Forget the same bed. Y'all not even in the same house. Like, that to me is insane. I don't know how that works for them. And if you think that he has been cheating on you every time you don't hear from him in a timely manner and there's gaps in communication, why are you still there? You cannot tell me that you love yourself or you're an alpha female, as you said in one of the episodes, and this is the type of behavior that you're tolerating. So they are a mess. Another thing that Alexia said that I felt like was kind of disturbing was when Dr. Nicole came to the house to talk to them. She was like, she said, all my friends are getting married and I'm ready for marriage and children. I want it within the next 2 years. And I feel like, Alexia, first of all, you're 34 years old, okay? Like, she's the same age as I am. And I understand my friends around me are married and they're having kids and stuff like that as well. And I desire those same things. But at the same time, you have to be realistic. What you don't want to be is the friend that gets married because everyone else is doing it. And then after you're married, you are miserable, And I feel like with Smoke, I just don't see how this relationship could turn around. Like, it seems like she has been settling and compromising the entire time. Her not using her voice to voice her complaints, her not speaking up about the things that bother her, her still being there after, the way he communicates, because he gets upset. It seems like he is extremely defensive versus trying to really hear her out, and she just shuts down. So I don't even know why she's still here. And on top of that, when she told a story about how, he texted her and said, do you want Waffle House? But then he didn't come back home to the next day. That would have happened one time, and my response to him was, this better not happen again. The second time it happened, when he got back to the house, I would not have been there. I would have packed whatever I could, and I would have left, and that would have been it. Alexia is just really wasting her time, and it's just sad to see. And it's like, we're in our 30s now. You don't have that kind of time to waste, especially if you want children. You're not trying to be 50 years old now trying to push out your first child because you wasted the majority of your life with a man who never wanted to marry you to begin with. I'm pretty sure when Smoke met Alexia, he was not thinking about marriage. Another thing that Smoke said was, oh, we fine with the kids. We can have kids now. The fact that you think it's okay to bring kids into the situation, but you don't think it's okay to bring marriage into a situation, so you feel like marriage is more valuable than children? Like, that to me is insane too. Like, what type of environment are you creating for these kids? You already have 2 baby mamas or whatever, and now you want to go ahead and have a 3rd baby mama, but you don't want a commitment? What type of example are you setting for your children? That to me was insane and disrespectful. At least Alexia has been smart enough not to get pregnant by him, so that hopefully if she does walk away from the situation, she can walk away and not have to look back or deal with him in any capacity. But I'm not understanding his mindset. I feel like he's gaslighting her and she doesn't even realize it. Another thing I just thought of was he brought up her guy friends, and not sure if these male friends are straight or not, but if they are straight, I have my own thoughts on men and women being friends. From my personal experience and from what I've seen, a lot of times it does not work. In a lot of cases, someone secretly likes someone. So I agree that when you're in a relationship, there's no way I would have a relationship and I'm having guy friends and my man feels uncomfortable. That's just me personally, though. I feel like that's just an unnecessary argument. I'm not even going to go there with it. It's like, I don't need to have guy friends. I can be cordial with, the men I have to work with, different things like that. But outside of that, I don't have anything else to give because I feel like you're playing with fire with that. But I feel like Alexia is holding on to these guy friends because little things like the heart eyes and who knows what type of conversations they're having. It sounds like she's getting what she's not getting from Smoke, she's getting from them. Them putting heart eyes, making her feel desired and different things like that. She's getting that from them. So she's not going to be willing to let that go, especially if she feels like Smoke has been cheating on her. And Smoke claims he's not cheating on her, but I just find it so hard to believe that he's just always in the studio. Like, that just sounds like a cheating excuse. And on top of that, not for nothing, I have to look it up, but what music are you working on? And when is this music coming out? I have not heard from Field Mob since I started college in 2005. So I don't know what Smoke is talking about. I just feel like Alexia is wasting her time. The time she's over here trying to figure out Smoke, she really could be moving on to the next man. And then, the straw that broke the camel's back was really when they were talking, and I believe right after he said that he's okay having kids, he's going to get married, he said that she's not marriage material at this time. Alexia, honey, put on your track shoes and run. Like, what other insult does he have to spew out at you for you to understand this is not going to work out. What do you mean that she's not marriage material? Like, what about, and if you feel that way, why don't you leave? And this is why, as a woman, I feel like a lot of times with these situationships, you have to be the one to walk away. Because what ends up happening with a lot of guys, from my experience, I'm not generalizing all men, but from what I've seen and what I've seen around me, when you have situationships as a woman, when you don't walk away, that guy's not going to say anything. He will stay there until he meets a person like Kai, who he really is into, and she demands that she's going to be the only one. Then he will walk away. Then you stuck looking like Boo Boo the Fool, because you're like, wait a minute, what just happened? Well, Kai had no problem demanding that she be treated a certain way, demanding a relationship, and X, Y, and Z. I'm pretty sure, I can bet you anything. Let's just say Alexia and Smoke don't work out. Let's just say Kai really is into Smoke and they get together. I promise you they'd be married in 2 years. I do not think he'd be having the same conversation that he's having with Alexia now about her rushing and them needing to wait. On top, that's another thing. He was saying that, he doesn't want to rush. Sir, you guys have been together half your lives. What are you talking about? What rush are you talking about? She's been beyond patient. She has more patience than I don't even know. Like, it's just like she needs to not even walk, but run away from you. And Kai, even though she gets up and walks away and acting like she deserves respect, if you really felt like you deserve respect, you would not be here. You would not even be on the show. You would just be gone and looking back, laughing at whatever fool is going to end up dealing with him. It seems like she's dismissive. And the thing about it is, I say that because I recognize how she shuts down. I'm the same way. I go to therapy to try to, work on that. But it's like she gets so mad, she shuts down, she walks away. And that's fine if you need to take time out. But the problem is you're walking away, but you're not communicating. And not only are you not verbally communicating, you're not communicating with your actions. Because if you really were sick and tired, if you get to that point, sometimes you don't need to communicate anything verbally. You can just simply walk away. Your action's going to speak loud enough. So I don't know what she's doing. When she got up and walked away, me and Sean were both about to cry, because I literally almost teared up, because I'm just like, girl, this man, he's just over here romanticizing Kai. He thinks she's the best thing since sliced bread, and he's acting like you're chopped liver. What else does he have to tell you? He literally told you you're not marriage material at this time. He told you he's not ready for marriage with you. She didn't hear him say this, but he said that you're not feminine enough. The list goes on. From the very first episode, he's been insulting you. He even said Kai is the type of man that a celebrity should be with. So does he feel like he's settling with Alexia? So I don't know. This is crazy. I don't know what's going to happen with these couples. I honestly just feel bad for them. And I feel it sounds like at the end of the day, like they all have trauma bonded. I don't know what other experiences they've experienced with each other, but all I see is some situationships. Well, I don't feel like Sean and LaRonda were a situationship. It seemed like they got together. Sean definitely seems the type of guy who would quickly get into a relationship. I don't see that with them. But as for the Alexia and Smoke, and then Jessica and Eric, I definitely feel like this is just an extended situationship that no one ever ended. And now here we are with expectations that are probably going to go unmet, or should go unmet, because you guys should not be together. You guys just stayed in a situation that should have ended a long time ago, but no one was able to pull the trigger. But let me know what you guys think down below in the comments. I cannot wait to see the next episode. I really just want to get to the end of this series, because I know that what I'm noticing now with a lot of these shows, I watched Ready to Love as well. A lot of people are doing lives. I saw someone left a comment somewhere, maybe on the video I was watching of the show, and they were like how LaRonda was on live with Sir James. And even just like last season, how Che and Mike, and Mike was on live with Whitney. So a lot of times they do these things to kind of get you to tune in and see what's happening, but I don't feel like LaRonda. If LaRonda left Sean, I'll be shocked. So I just want to get to the end and see what happens. My prediction, I definitely feel like Sean and LaRonda are going to get engaged. As for the other two, I don't know. And with Sean and LaRonda, to me, from the first episode, I do feel like they have the most hope. Sean just needs a whole lot of therapy. He needs to get his money together. But if I had to pick one couple to get married, it would be LaRonda and Sean. But guys, I don't know. We'll see what happens with these couples. But let me know what you think in the comments down below. I'll see you next time. Bye.